Hi guys, happy Sunday. I guess today I'm just sharing a little bit more about where I'm at, my recent separation. It's day 4 and just feeling into, the part of me that wants to go into blame and pointing fingers and holding somebody else responsible, and feeling the anger and sadness move through my body. And then, I guess really breathing into where that anger stems from. Is that anger completely from me to another person, or is there a part in that I can be responsible for too? I find in taking that responsibility, it's helping me to reach a place of empowerment in breakup, as opposed to my typical and my past of basically pointing the finger the other direction, and that saying, point one finger in one direction and there's 3 going back at you. Without going too much into the story of the breakup, I've been seeing a beautiful man for the last 8 months here in Ubud, and we moved in together, and we really weren't expecting what had basically, we weren't expecting the way things unfolded. There was blending children involved and all sorts, and just things were a lot more difficult, and we found out we were actually less aligned than we thought we were. So today I'm grappling with things like, the idea of like, this is my beautiful home, and this is the place where, this is the place where I thought we were going to be raising our children and building our version of our family together. And so I guess just sitting and allowing that pain to be there without trying to shift it and make it anything else. Really feeling into when I feel myself getting snappy and moody and like wanting to blame or shame or make this somebody else's problem. That there's always 2 people involved in a relationship, and this is a big lesson for me on listening to my intuition and really seeing the signs for what they are, rather than brushing them to the side in view of the fantasy. So my idea of the perfect house and the perfect kids and the big swimming pool in the rice fields blinded me and allowed me to kind of push to the side some of the basic places that we were not so aligned. And so that's what I mean by taking our responsibility for the part that we play, and not always blaming, well, you're not doing this. Well, I knew that from the start. That's my part of the responsibility, and that's my part of the process. So I just really want to share that we can go through breakup and we can own our part in that. And although it's hurtful, it's actually how we're going to stimulate growth for ourselves. It's how we're actually going to go through healing a lot faster. And it's how when we meet somebody else in the future, we're actually one step ahead in our evolution, and hopefully then so is our partner, because our vibes attract our tribes, and using it for healing as opposed to going into the victim mode and going into the poor me story. So the first 2 days I could see, and I became the observer of my poor me story. And so in my poor me story, I allowed it. I was just like, we have egos for a reason, right? They're there to keep us safe. They're there to run some stories. But it was like I kind of took a bird's eye view, and I was like, yeah, poor you. That's awful. You've broken up with somebody. This whole life that you imagined together and blah, blah, blah. And it's also not his fault. So I just noticed that, And I gave those emotions time, and I gave them space, and I allowed those emotions to sit in bed and eat pizza and watch Bridesmaids and cry and sob and release. And then I also said to myself, after 2 days of that, okay, now what do we do? Now we step up. Now we slowly, we move gently, and we start whatever the next process is. And so it's allowing the feelings, feeling the feelings, accepting what is, accepting all the things that you have to let go of, accepting all the fantasies that you've built up in your head that are no longer going to be, and making peace with that, allowing grieving time for those processes, and then bringing that power back to you and harnessing it into another project. Harnessing your energy and getting busy are two very different things, though. So I really want to be very strong on that part, is that harnessing your energy to do good for you instead of getting busy to deny the feelings. They're two different things. And so, yeah, I guess that's where I'm at today. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very balanced. I'm feeling somewhat vulnerable. Yeah, I guess this is going to be my last week here in the house. I found myself an amazing place to live, so that feels really good. And yeah, so the next steps, and just gently, not trying to push anything, not trying to make myself be happy when I don't feel the way, not trying to fill myself or jump on Tinder or like distract myself, just actually to really feel. Because actually what I want to do now is grow. I don't want to distract. I want to take this as an opportunity for my growth and see how I can spin what's happened here. A, to not have it happen again in those same terms. B, as to listen to myself more and follow my gut, and don't allow the ego for what it wants, you know, the perfect happy family in the big house in the rice fields, to allow my inner self to show me the way. And so when I take that moment of quiet and I breathe and I think about it and I get through all the emotions that are like on the surface, I actually totally feel at peace with the direction that things are going, you know. So I guess it's that pain. Hey Denny, hey Amy, thanks for joining. I guess it's that short-term pain for long-term gain, or long-term pain for short-term gain. You know, there was always a place that I wasn't going to be quite met in this relationship, and so I could have struggled and tried to drag him along to meet me, and that's not fair on my partner either, because it's making him feel like there's something wrong, that there's something that he needs to fix, and that's so not the case. He's a beautiful man. He's exactly where he is at his point in his life, and I'm exactly where I am, and those two things are, yeah, they're out of balance. So yeah, I hope you can take something away from that. I'm going to be sharing again. I was going to set times and I was going to say this is when I'm going to be sharing, but I'm actually just feeling into sharing when it feels good and when it feels authentic to share, and when I don't have children blabbing in my ear or roosters going crazy in the background. So yeah, I'm just going to share as I feel inspired each day, and hope if anyone's going through anything out there that you can take something away and have some growth from there. But finally, I'm going to say goodbye from an actually finally sunny Ubud. We have actually been pouring rain, freezing cold. I had to buy a jumper. So yeah, the sun's coming out on a day that I found a house to move into, and for me that just feels like, oh, okay, where there's pain, there's expansion, and the sun always comes out after the rain. So yeah, I will love you and leave you there, and I shall speak to you again soon. Mwah.